Part 1, Introduction, Cultural Context, and Invisible Barriers. What is Big Asian Energy? Big Asian Energy is a provocation, a way to overturn the stereotype of the shy, submissive, invisible Asian. The author redefines the concept as energy that comes from authenticity, pride in one's roots, and the ability to be seen and heard. Even in environments dominated by Western models of leadership, this energy is available to everyone, not just Asians. It belongs to anyone who chooses to be visible, powerful, and intentional, no longer asking for permission. Cultural context. Being Asian in the West. Hanh Nguyen shares her personal story. The daughter of Vietnamese immigrants in the United States, raised between two worlds. On one side, a family upbringing based on respect, silence, modesty, and not drawing too much attention. On the other, an American culture that rewards those who speak loudly, stand out, and assert themselves. Many Asians, like other ethnic groups or non-conforming individuals, grow up learning that to be accepted, they must adapt and become less of themselves. But this comes at a cost: feeling excluded from leadership roles, suffering from performance anxiety, and losing authenticity. The invisible barriers that block success. The book explores a range of barriers, many of which are not explicit but deeply rooted. 1. The dominant leadership model, based on assertiveness, dominance, and white male charisma, does not include other cultural styles. 2. Family and cultural expectations often discourage risk, conflict, or public exposure. 3. Impostor syndrome, common among those who grow up feeling different or out of place. 4. Systemic racism and microaggressions, jokes, stereotypes, silent exclusions that hurt every day. Pressure to overperform. You have to be twice as good to get half as far. Nguyen encourages us to recognize these barriers, name them, and overcome them, not through destructive anger, but with awareness and strategy. Identity as a strength, not a limitation. A key message in the book is flipping the perspective. Cultural identity is not a weakness. It is a competitive advantage. Han describes how she tried to Americanize herself to be accepted, only to realize she was giving up the most valuable part of who she was. Real strength lies in integrating one's roots with the current context, bringing diversity, empathy, listening, and vision. It's not about adapting or rebelling, it's about rewriting the rules of the game. First steps to break through imposed limits. Here are the first practical tools the book offers. 1. Recognize internalized labels. Phrases like, don't disturb, don't draw attention, never make mistakes need to be challenged. 2. Practice intentional visibility. Speak up in meetings, take up space, choose when and how to be seen. 3. Redefine your personal definition of success. Do not follow imposed models. Build your own authentic leadership style. 4. Find supportive communities, people who understand your context and can offer emotional and strategic support. 5. Cultivate the courage to be uncomfortable. Every real change requires the courage to upset those used to the old system. Personal reflection for daily life. How many times have you held back from saying something for fear of being too much? How many times have you adapted to an environment that did not reflect your values or your way of being? Big Asian Energy teaches us that true power begins the moment we allow ourselves to be visible, vulnerable, and authentic. You do not need to change who you are to be successful. You just need to stop hiding. Common mistake to avoid believing that success requires giving up your identity. This leads to burnout, dissatisfaction, and insecurity. True success is the kind you can sustain over time without wearing a mask. Advanced technique. Nguyen suggests writing a personal energy declaration, listing the cultural, familial, and personal qualities that make you unique, and deciding how you want to bring them into your work, leadership, and relationships. A powerful exercise to begin leading with authenticity. Conclusion and invitation. This was just the first part of our journey into Big Asian Energy. If you enjoyed this content, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you won't miss the next part, where we will talk about how to build leadership that breaks the rules, creates space for yourself, and opens the way for others. Tell me in the comments, in which area of your life do you feel like you are holding back your true energy? Part 2, Authentic Leadership, Strategic Visibility, and Personal Power. Quick recap of Part 1. In the first episode, we introduced the concept of Big Asian energy, an authentic force born from pride in one's roots and the desire to be visible in contexts where invisibility is often the norm. We discussed cultural barriers, impostor syndrome, dominant leadership styles, and the first steps to breaking both internal and external limitations. Authentic leadership doesn't ask for permission. One of the core pillars of the book is authentic leadership, not a title or a role, but a way of living, communicating, and influencing without giving up who you are. Leadership is not reserved for the extroverted, aggressive, or dominant. It belongs to those who are present, intentional, and real. Nguyen reminds us that corporate and cultural structures have taught us to recognize only one type of leader: assertive, competitive, white, male. But the future demands more nuanced, empathetic, collaborative, and multi-layered models. Being an authentic leader means not trying to imitate others, but designing your own style of leadership, aligned with your culture, energy, and values. Strategies to develop personal leadership. 1. Understand your guiding energies. Nguyen invites you to explore where your natural energy comes from. Are you more reflective, creative, empathetic, organized? Leadership isn't about raising your voice, but using your voice with awareness. 2. Create your own definition of impact to measure your impact not just in KPIs, but in how people feel working with you. Do you have the courage to speak the truth? Can you elevate others? 3. Build horizontal relationships. True power is built in authentic relationships, not power games. Being allies, sponsors, mentors, and supporters of others creates a trust-based ecosystem. How to gain visibility without losing authenticity. Many feel trapped between two options: being invisible or becoming something they're not. Han proposes a third way: strategic and intentional visibility. The key? Be visible not for ego, but for impact. You don't have to shout, dominate, or change who you are. Instead, you need to choose the moments where your voice can shift the dynamic. Speak with clarity and calm, not noise. Be intentional in meetings, projects, and interactions. Nguyen calls this presence with purpose. It's not about being everywhere, but about making your presence count. The courage to be unlikable. One of the most powerful and challenging chapters is about being willing to be disliked. Many of us, especially those from marginalized backgrounds, grow up learning to make everyone comfortable, be nice, never offend, stay safe. But this often leads to invisibility. To lead, you must be willing to create discomfort, especially in systems that benefit from your silence. Not out of aggression, but integrity. Leadership is not popularity. It's alignment with your values and the courage to act accordingly. Reclaiming the narrative. Another key concept is reclaiming the narrative. Society, workplaces, even our families may have told us who we are and what we should do. Examples include: you're not leadership material. Be grateful for what you have. Don't draw too much attention. But Nguyen urges us to rewrite those scripts. She invites you to literally take pen and paper and write your own story. Ask yourself, who do I want to be? What does leadership mean to me? What is success on my terms? Advanced practices to integrate this energy. Here are powerful exercises proposed by the author to help you internalize this transformation. 1. Power mapping. List the rooms, groups, or industries where you want to have influence. Map out who's in power, how they behave, and how you can enter without imitating but adding value. 2. Energy audit. Track how often you shrink, remain silent, or wear a mask during the week. Then reflect. Is that energy sustainable? Is it truly you? 3. Visibility rituals. Develop small daily or weekly habits to show up more boldly. O. Post something authentic on LinkedIn. O. Speak first in a meeting. O. Share your origin story with a colleague or client. The future needs new leaders. Nguyen ends the book with a strong call. The future doesn't need perfect leaders. It needs whole leaders, real people with real experiences who refuse to hide. Big Asian energy is not just about Asians. It's about anyone who's ever felt too different, too quiet, too much, or not enough. It's about owning your story, reclaiming your power, and showing the world that success has many faces, and yours belongs there too. Final reflection for your life. If you've ever dimmed your light just to fit in, this is your reminder. You are not too much. You are not enough. You are exactly the leader the world needs when you stop hiding. Step into your energy, your story, your identity. That's where real success begins. Common trap to avoid waiting for permission? Nguyen is clear. The world won't always invite you in, but you don't need permission to lead, speak, or rise. You have to decide that you belong and then act like it. Personal challenge. Today, choose one space where you felt invisible or underestimated and do something different. Speak up, share your truth, volunteer, claim your space, then come back and write in the comments, what changed? Part 3, Power Systems, Representation, and Strategic Alliances. Understanding power systems. One of the book's most powerful messages is that power is not neutral. It's built, maintained, and often exclusive. For those from underrepresented groups, Asians, women, minorities, hard work alone is not enough. You must understand how systems work and act strategically, not just tirelessly. Nguyen opens our eyes to the fact that systems are designed to reproduce themselves. Merit alone doesn't guarantee access. The rules of the game change depending on who you are. But there's good news. Once you understand the unwritten rules, you can navigate the system without becoming a slave to it. Asking the right questions to navigate power, you must start with awareness. Nguyen proposes these guiding questions. 1. Who decides what's valuable here? 2. Who has access to decision-making spaces? 3. Who gets heard and who doesn't? 4. What behaviors are rewarded? 5. What stories are being told? Only by answering these questions can you begin to map power and understand where you can fit in strategically, from invisible to influential. Representation matters. Nguyen speaks powerfully about the need for more Asian representation in leadership, media, culture, and positions of power. We cannot be what we cannot see, but beware. Representation must not be symbolic or a quota to fill. It must be transformative, structural, and sustainable. Here's what truly makes a difference. 1. Be the first, but not the last. If you're the first of your ethnicity or background in a role, pave the way for others. 2. Change the internal narrative. Often companies use diversity as a display, but don't change their structures. You can start asking uncomfortable questions and open space for new conversations. 3. Show up unfiltered. Being visible doesn't mean being perfect or exemplary. It means bringing the complexity of your experience, your roots, your values, without betraying them to conform. Building strategic alliances. Authentic power is never achieved alone. Nguyen emphasizes a key point. Collective leadership always beats individual leadership. How to build authentic alliances. 1. Identify people with influence and aligned values. It's not just about climbing. It's about building bridges with those who can support you, even outside your niche. 2. Be an ally before asking for one. Offer support, visibility, and credit to others. When you become the kind of person who uplifts others, they will uplift you in return. 3. Speak up for others when they're not in the room. If you're in a meeting where you can recommend or acknowledge an underrated talent, do it. That's how a more equitable system begins. Turning microaggressions into energy. Many Asians and minorities in general experience microaggressions daily. Comments, jokes, subtle exclusions. You speak English so well. Where are you really from? You're always so diligent. You don't even seem Asian. These phrases, even if well-intentioned, undermine psychological safety. Nguyen suggests three strategies to handle them. 1. Respond clearly and with humor, without submitting. E.g., really, because I was thinking you don't seem very competent either. 2. Ask for clarification to shift the discomfort back. What exactly do you mean by that? 3. Turn the moment into an educational opportunity. Actually, it's important to understand why that statement can be offensive. Advanced technique. The positive power circle. Nguyen recommends building a tight circle of people who see you for who you are, tell you the truth, lift you up, protect you. You don't need 100 friends. You need 4 to 5 powerful, generous, clear-minded people. This circle will be your base of safety, especially when the system makes you doubt yourself. Final reflection. Being part of a system doesn't mean being a victim of it. You have the power to navigate structures, bend them, and rewrite them, together with others. Nguyen pushes us to abandon the loneliness of, I have to do it all alone, and embrace the concept of collective, visible, shared power. Mistake to avoid trying to become the exception to be accepted. We weren't born to be a model minority or a well-integrated exception. We were born to redefine the rules of the game. Part 4. Career, Identity, and Sustainable Success. Career and ambition, a two-track road. In the Western world, career is often portrayed as a climb, up, 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 to the top. But Nguyen challenges this model, offering a more circular and internal vision of success. Questions that flip the perspective. What am I sacrificing to achieve this success? Does my current role reflect who I am, or just what I can do? If I wasn't afraid, what path would I follow? In other words, it's not enough to have a career. You need to be in a career, a path that nourishes your identity, not one that suppresses it. Mixed identity is a superpower being between two worlds, Asian and Western, child of immigrants, a woman in a male-dominated field, an introvert in an extroverted culture, isn't a burden. It's hybrid power. Hanh Nguyen calls it the mixed identity advantage, cultural hybrid intelligence. Here's what it brings. 1. Extreme adaptability. You're used to decoding languages, behaviors, unspoken rules. That's cultural leadership. 2. Lateral vision. You see things from multiple perspectives at once. You know how to mediate and diffuse invisible tension. 3. Context sensitivity. You instinctively sense what people need without them having to say it. Your identity isn't half and half. It's doubled, it's multiplied, it's whole. Hanh Nguyen. Sustainable success equals inner power plus intentional choices. In the book, Nguyen busts a damaging myth. Success must be hard, relentless, and extreme. Instead, she offers a new paradigm. Real success is sustainable. It lets you live well, without sacrificing your health, relationships, or values. The 3 pillars of sustainable success. 1. Healthy boundaries. Learn to say no, not as rejection, but as affirmation of your priorities. 2. Recharge as strategy. Sleep, eat well, meditate, pause. These are revolutionary acts in a toxic productivity culture. 3. Intentional, not reactive choices. Don't make decisions from fear or a need for validation. Act from a place of inner alignment. Dual loyalty, family and autonomy. Those from Asian or collectivist families often face a deep conflict. Follow yourself or honor the family? Nguyen addresses this emotional knot with care and clarity. You can love your parents and not follow the dreams they had for you. You can be grateful and free. 3 truths to dissolve guilt. 1. You don't have to repay the love you received. You are already enough. You honor your family simply by living with dignity. 2. Your freedom creates space for others. When you follow your path, You liberate others from the cycle of repetition. 3. Respect is not submission. You can deeply respect your roots without silencing your voice. Breaking glass ceilings and golden cages. Many Asian professionals, and not only, get stuck in the middle management trap. Good enough to be reliable, but never promoted enough to be decision makers. Nguyen calls this the bamboo ceiling. How to break it. Be seen. Step out from the shadow of efficiency. Show ambition. Speak up. Even if your voice shakes, speak in meetings, lead projects. Find sponsors, not just mentors. Seek those who can use their influence to get you to the right tables. Don't settle for the golden cage of comfort and steady salary if your soul feels dimmed. Strategic tool, the 7x7 vision. Nguyen offers a powerful exercise for anyone wanting to redefine their career or personal life. The 7x7 vision. Write 7 words that describe your ideal life, e.g., creativity, freedom, impact. Write 7 concrete actions you can start today to move toward that vision. Reread every week for 7 weeks. This aligns your desires with your actions, your identity with your reality. Final reflection. True success doesn't come from copying someone else's model. It comes from building your own path with your voice, your face, your roots. Being Asian, a woman, an outsider, or different isn't an obstacle. It's your evolutionary superpower. Common mistake. Living a life that looks right to others, but feels wrong to you. Don't let someone else's version of success become your prison. You have the right to define your own success. Part 5. Leadership, visibility, and leaving a lasting legacy. Lead without permission. One of Hanh Nguyen's most powerful statements is, "No one will ever give you permission to be powerful. You have to take it, with grace, with strength, with truth." The world, according to Nguyen, isn't designed to reward those who play nice and wait their turn. It favors those who take a stand, lead without a title, and speak even without a microphone. Here are the 3 pillars to lead without permission. 1. Start with yourself. You can't lead anyone if you're not willing to lead yourself. That means self-care, discipline, and integrity. 2. Act first, earn legitimacy later. Show what you're capable of. People will catch up later. 3. You don't need to please everyone. You need to serve something real, stop and start seeking approval. Strategic visibility, not superficial spotlight. Nguyen busts a common myth that visibility is egotism, narcissism, or selling out. Absolutely not. Visibility isn't vanity, it's responsibility. If you're not visible, you can't inspire. You can't break old patterns. You can't help those who feel invisible like you once did. 3 strategies for conscious visibility. 1. Think message, not image. Don't show up just to perform. Show up to create authentic connections. 2. Train your presence, not perfection. People follow those who are real, not flawless. 3. Choose your platform and master one. You don't need 10 social media channels. You need one clear and consistent point of impact. Every time you speak with truth, you make it possible for someone else to do the same. Emotional intelligence and assertive communication. To lead authentically, you need real tools. Nguyen offers 2 essentials. 1. Emotional intelligence. Being aware of your own emotions and those of others helps you. Avoid impulsive reactions. Recognize unspoken needs. Build strong relationships, even in toxic spaces. 2. Assertive communication. Speak clearly, with respect, not passively, not aggressively. A simple formula. I observed, I feel, I need, I request. Example. In that meeting, I noticed my point wasn't considered. I felt ignored. I need to know my voice matters. Can we revisit it? Generative leadership. Nguyen introduces the concept of generative leadership, a kind of leadership not measured by authority, but by transformative impact. It's not about how many followers you have. It's about how many people grow because of you. Be the kind of leader who creates other leaders. Signs of generative leadership. Your team grows more confident. People feel seen, heard, and valued. You create spaces where difference is not just allowed, it shines. Dismantling white leadership standards. Nguyen boldly challenges the Western stereotype of leadership. Loud, dominant, aggressive. If you're introverted, they call you shy. If you're thoughtful, they say you're slow. If you're empathetic, they see you as weak. These labels come from monocultural standards. It's time to replace them with plural, inclusive, and flexible models. An Asian woman can lead with silent strength. An introvert can make deep impact with carefully chosen words. An empathetic team can achieve high performance through harmony, not competition. Leaving a legacy. In the final chapter, Nguyen challenges us to think beyond today, to what we'll leave behind. Authentic leadership is the kind that lives on, even after you've gone. Ask yourself, 1. Who am I becoming every single day? 2. What version of myself do I want to leave behind for the world? 3. What will be better because I was here? Final thoughts on the book. Big Asian Energy isn't just a book. It's a battle cry. It's a call for internal liberation for anyone who has ever felt invisible. It's a practical guide to becoming powerful, visible, and authentic without losing yourself. You've just heard the final chapter of Big Asian Energy. If something in these words lit a fire inside you, don't let it burn out. Act, show up, lead. Don't wait for permission. Leave a mark that matters. Subscribe now to Mind Generation X. Like this video, drop a comment with the words that inspired you most from this book, and share this with someone who needs to feel powerful again.